I'm Laverne.
Welcome to this episode of Cooking Crave. Today we are going to bring you two dishes that we would like you to try. The first dish is the main dish. It is a cheese button recipe that is really quick and easy. And the second is a lettuce salad that goes with it. And here today is Laverne to help us make these two dishes.
All right, and like Rhonda said, it's very simple. It's a little twist from our regular cheese buttons. And this one here is actually called Lazy Man's Cheese Buttons, but we're not really so lazy, but it's just that it's really good. I'm going to start with, I cubed two pieces of bread, and because we're going to brown some breadcrumbs. You can use any bread. I just happen to have some white bread here. You can use wheat bread, any bread that you have in hand. And like I said, I use two slices. It makes about 2 cups of, your breadcrumbs.
Okay.
And it does cook up. So I started over here in my pan. I put 3 tablespoons of butter. So I'm going to put the breadcrumbs in there and just stir that up. And while we're mixing the other ingredients, this will be able to brown, and we won't have to be spending a lot of time at the end trying to get our breadcrumbs browned.
Okay, so this isn't something that you have to stir constantly or keep a real close eye on so it doesn't burn.
No, I just put it in and mix it up so all the butter is soaked into the breadcrumbs. And then I'm going to put it down to about, probably a fairly low heat so that it doesn't burn. Because while we're making the other ingredients, we can just stir this occasionally. So we'll just have that in there. And now we're going to come over here and we're going to start with 1 egg. And I need to get that egg from the fridge. And again, I do like to, always crack my egg into a bowl to make sure that the egg is good. And so I'm going to put that in there.
And if you're klutzy like me and you like to get eggshells in when cracking eggs, you can get them out of a small bowl a lot easier.
Right, so we're just going to blend that just a little bit up there. Now I have 2 cups of cottage cheese. And again, you can use your coarser, or if you like the small curd cottage cheese, the low fat or 2%, anything that you are liking to use in your cooking.
So it doesn't make a difference in how this dish turns out if you do use a light cottage cheese?
It's going to all work out very nicely. And then I'm going to use about a 1/4 cup sour cream. So we're going to put the sour cream in that mixture. And about a 1/3 cup onions. And I use the green onions. I just chop them up. And if you don't have the green onions, you can use your regular onions that you have in the fridge. It doesn't have to be the green onion. The recipe does ask for the green onion, but I haven't really noticed that there's a lot of difference in the flavoring or whatever. You just get a little bit more color to it because of the green.
Okay.
Now we're going to add, it asks for about 2 ounces of sharp cheddar cheese. And we can put that in there.
Have you tried it with different flavors of cheese other than just the sharp cheddar?
I have used just a regular cheddar cheese and not always a sharp. It's good either way. It really is. And we're going to use a little bit of pepper, about a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper and about a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Let's put that in there and just get that all just mixed well. And then I've got some noodles already cooked. The recipe it asks for about 4 to 6 cups of noodles, and what I usually find that equals to is a 1/2 bag of your dry noodles.
Okay.
And and again, it doesn't have to be precise. This isn't a real big recipe, so it is a recipe that's very easy to double or just to add a little bit of more ingredients just to make a little bit bigger batch. So okay, so we've got that mixed. I've got my cooked noodles.
And are you using the wide egg noodles, or what kind of egg noodles did you use here?
I did use the wide egg noodles, but you can use any width that you want. And I just happen to have the wide ones in stock, in my pantry, so that's what I used. And when I boil the noodles, I always like to add a little bit of salt in with the noodles. It seems to, your flavor of the salt sticks a little bit more when it's cooked with the noodles. So
definitely.
So let's just get that mixed up here. And when it's baking, your cheese, your sharp cheddar cheese is going to just melt in there. You don't even have that coarse cheese in there.
Okay.
So just make sure you have a big enough bowl to mix it nicely. So that looks like that's...
Now, where is this recipe from? Is it something that you've gotten from a friend or a relative?
Okay. Well, actually, my sister Carly had given it to me, and I'm not quite sure where she had gotten it. We didn't have it at home. We had the original cheese buttons, so
okay.
That was something. And this here, because you have your cheese in there. You got pasta, you have cheese, and that, especially with Lent coming up, I think this is going to be a good dish just to have, because when we make it, I don't even make any meat or anything with it. We just have this, and then have a salad or something if we like. But again, it's just a good meatless dish. You got all your protein in there with the cheese and the pasta. So
sounds great.
Okay, so and then we're going to just take a pan here. I've got, it's probably 8 by 8. Well, it's not quite 8 by 8, but a little deeper pan there, and I'm going to go ahead and just put that in there. And this too, again, it takes about 20 to 25 minutes to bake it, and just until it's nice and bubbly.
This is something that you can mix ahead of time as well, isn't it?
Oh yes, definitely. I'm going to just stir our breadcrumbs a little bit here. And those are almost done, so I'm going to just turn off the heat because they can still continue to cook or brown a little bit in the fry pan.
And I think what makes this dish is the breadcrumbs that are on top.
Yes. Because when you're making regular cheese buttons, I always use breadcrumbs there too. So you just go ahead and spread that evenly in there.
And this is something you can make the night before, so if you're needing a fast dish, it's prepared, you can go right from a refrigerator to the oven. And
then, you just allow a little bit more baking time because it is cold. So I would add probably a good 10 minutes longer when you're baking it if it's been cold.
Okay.
But there's times I will make this in the morning, get it ready before I go to work, and so this way I can just pop it in the oven when I get home. Makes it quick and easy. Okay, and like we said, we show you the finished product. Now we're going to put it in the oven at, I have preheated my oven at 350 degrees. So I'm going to put it in the oven and put that temperature on there, and I set the timer for the 20 minutes, and now we're going to go over and we're going to make a salad. And it's a very simple, easy salad, but it's very good. I start with a head of romaine lettuce, and I think they also have bagged romaine lettuce that you could purchase if you don't want to, get your own and the actual head and, tear it up into little pieces. But I guess I like the idea of, having my own lettuce and stuff, and I wash it and then I know it's clean. So
okay.
So there we have a head of romaine lettuce, and it asks for 2 cans of mandarin oranges, which I've had drained here. So we're going to put that in there. And the next, it asks for 2 bananas that we're going to cut up. And I'll give you a knife and you can cut one while I'm doing the other. Oh. And also it asks for about a fourth to a half cup of green onion. And again, I just chopped that up earlier. So with your banana there, I would just cut it in half, and then I make fairly small pieces with that. Just slice it in there. So it's kind of it's really a good salad because you have, you have your lettuce, your romaine lettuce, but then you also have a mixture of fruit in there. So you have, like I said, a blend of fruit and vegetables.
This is a nice salad that you can pretty much, this is a good potluck salad. I can see kids really liking this salad.
Okay. It's easy to make the salad earlier, but you just aren't going to add your dressing until you actually are ready to serve your salad. Then you're only going to put the dressing on. The dressing asks for, it says 1/4 cup, or excuse me, 3/4 cup oil. And I've got some canola oil here, and any oil is going to be fine, your vegetable oil, so we're going to add that in there.
I know there's a lot of recipes now that call for olive oil or extra virgin olive oil. Is that something that you would use, or do you want to stick to more like a canola or a vegetable oil?
I've used all kinds of oils. You're not going to make it. It's not going to make a difference. And like I said, I just happen to have the canola oil in the cupboard right now, and that's what I've got open. So I'm going to use that. I've not ever used the olive oil yet in the salad, but I think it would probably work pretty well because olive oil is so healthy. The next step is we're going to add 1/3 cup honey.
You've sold me on this recipe already.
Yep. So, and honey is very good for you.
It's a natural sugar.
Yeah. Did you know that the honey is the only food that, with the natural that never spoils?
Really?
You can have that for years, and honey never spoils. So it may get a little sugary or thick, but you can just, melt it in the microwave, whatever, but it'll always be good, never spoils.
That's a good little tidbit.
And then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. And it asks for 2 tablespoons. It says French's mustard, but I think any yellow mustard will do.
Okay.
So we're going to add 2 tablespoons of that. This recipe here makes quite a bit of dressing. You may find that if you didn't use a whole head of lettuce, or your salad wasn't quite that big, it does keep. You can keep that salad, the dressing for up to a couple of weeks in the fridge, and it works just fine. So I've done that, and then it also asks for 1 1/2 teaspoons of poppy seed. Poppy seed probably isn't going to give a lot of flavor, but again, it gives just a little bit of extra color.
Makes it look very good.
Yes. And it asks for a teaspoon of salt.
Now, if you are making more of this dressing, that's something that you could pretty much use on any regular lettuce salad, too. Make your own salad dressing.
It's a very tasty salad. Salad dressing, I should say. And I have a little shaker here that works well for mixing up that dressing. You can put it in a cup or whatever that you may have a lid for, that you're able to shake it. It'll mix it up really well. Because of the honey, that takes a little bit just to blend it,
Right.
that. So. Okay. So that may seem a little different. So like I said, we used 1/3 cup honey, 3/4 cup oil, a teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of yellow or French's mustard, and 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. And I like the apple cider vinegar versus your regular white vinegar. Apple cider vinegar has a little bit, nicer flavor to it. It isn't quite as strong as regular vinegar.
Is it a sweeter taste for the vinegar?
Not that it's sweeter, it just has a little bit more mild flavoring, with that. And then the 1 1/2 teaspoons of poppy seed. That was our mixture, our dressing. So that's all mixed up well, and then we'll just pour it on the dressing here. And the poppy seed, you know, like I said, it just gives a little bit extra coloring there. And it asks for about 4 ounces of almonds, slivered almonds. And you can use regular raw almonds. Oh, okay, should we cut?
Okay.
For the buzzer? Okay.
We'll start with the almonds.
Okay. Now I need to take out the
Mexican lasagna.
And anytime.
Okay, now we've poured the dressing on there, and I'm going to, like I said, it asks for 4 ounces of almonds. And what I did with my almonds here, I put them in my little fry pan, and I put a little bit of, about 2 tablespoons of sugar in there, and gently coat the almonds. Then the almonds don't get soggy, you know, and stuff. So, and it gives them a nice little extra flavoring. So we're just going to put that on the salad there, and then you're just going to toss that. Get that well mixed in there.
And I can see our viewers, you know, changing this up too. If you, say, for instance, don't like the bananas, but the oranges are appeal, you don't have to put in the bananas, or you can use different fruits, whatever your family really enjoys.
Yes. And one thing, I don't know what the mixture is with the dressing. It seems to coat the bananas, and the bananas do not turn brown. You know, if bananas can turn brown very easily or quickly. So once they're in that dressing, they seem to just kind of, they keep. So.
Well, that's good to know, because
So.
I'm sure that's probably a question that some of our viewers had. Are the bananas going to turn brown? So
Nope, they won't. So there's our salad, and I think, like I said, it's very eye-appealing. You have, you know, all your different, you have your fruit in there and your lettuce, and
very healthy.
very healthy. Yes, it is. Okay. Okay, the buzzer went off for our Lazy Man's cheese buttons. So I'll turn that off and put on my trusty mitts, and we're going to take that out there.
Oh,
So
it
it's
smells
nice.
wonderful.
There, we're going to just bring it over here, put it on our cutting board here, or the hot board, and now just to be able to come and see that. And with this one here, you can use a knife to cut it, or I just like to use a big spoon and just spoon it out. I'm still going to use my mitt here because it's a little bit hot, and put that on my plate there. And you can just smell those breadcrumbs, those better breadcrumbs are just so nice, you know, there. And then you're going to have your salad there, and we just have that there together and all ready to go.
Oh, it smells absolutely wonderful, and what a nice salad to go with. A nice, simple recipe that you can make. Both of these recipes were very easy
Yes.
to make and not
Yes.
very time-consuming.
Yep.
So wonderful for our viewers to try some new recipes.
Right. And you know, with our so many working moms and wives, making this in the morning before you go to work, you can have your salad put together. I wouldn't put the fruit in the salad until you're ready to serve it, but you know, you have everything ready to go. You pop that in the oven the minute you get home, and you have time to change and rest just a moment, and you know, in 30 minutes you're going to have a nice supper and be able to sit down with your family. So we hope you really enjoy that, because it is definitely one of our favorites.
It is. And I would also like to thank you, Laverne, Mom, for helping us with these dishes today. And we'd like to thank our viewers for joining us on Cooking Crave. And to get a copy of these recipes, please go to Consolidated's webpage, www.ctctel.com. And again, that's a place where you can submit your recipes to have Laverne and I cook for you on the Cooking Crave show. Thank you so much for joining us today, and have a great day.
Yes.